It was the grand finale to an exercise that aimed to test the UK Lead Armoured Task Force's ability to deploy quickly. One York's battle group have to be ready to respond at short notice should war break out anywhere in the world. This exercise has allowed the troops to practice moving its heavy armour. This is the largest training exercise that's taken place on Salisbury Plain for about a decade, and if you just look at the sheer volume of vehicles that have been used, the Challenger 2, Britain's main battle tank. Also involved have been Warriors and Trojans. There's been 560 vehicles that have taken part altogether. Last week, the vehicles moved in convoy around a 50-kilometre circuit before breaking up to rehearse loading onto aircraft or onto shipping. This final demonstration shows the battle group's combat capabilities.
We've done 10 years of campaigning in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we've returned from those two campaigns, and we're now turning our mind to what the future might bring. So it can be very uncertain, and we need to make sure that we're ready for that uncertainty. We need to be able to prepare our forces so that they can be ready to deploy into a whole range of different theatres. And that's the purpose of this particular exercise, is to practice that.
How impressed have you been by the troops and what you've seen?
I've been really impressed. I mean, this is the sort of apogee of their training. They've practiced long and hard over the course of the year. They've done some tactical training in places like Canada and in Poland, and now you see them here practicing that deployment. The vehicles are working well, their training is working well. I think it's a highly disciplined force of which this country can be extremely proud.
There were 3 phases to this demonstration. The first is simulated defence, where the troops moved across the ground to fix the enemy in a specific location. Then an attack on the enemy using live fire. And finally, an obstacle crossing.
While we've been up here in the trenches, all we've been doing, well, we've come up, we've played enemy role while we've been up here, and we've obviously been friendly forces as well, so just engaging as the tanks have come back, we've been engaging enemy targets that are popping up. We've been demo battalion up until now, so it's been plenty of exercises and things like that we've been on, but nothing really since we've gone into this, apart from this. Now this is our first real tasking that we've had. For the lads especially that haven't been on tour and operations before, it's been good for them to see.
Been in the army about 5.5 years, not done a firepower demonstration like this before. It's good as we're going into that higher readiness now, and we can see the firepower that we do have, and obviously like the force that we can put out there. It's a bit different now because we're going more back into the conventional role, so we are using the Warriors and the Challengers back together, and also integrating the dismounts into that, as well as occupying trenches and stuff like that. So we're going back into as it was before obviously Herricks and stuff like that before.
I didn't really want to do this at the start, but as I've got into it and I've learned how to do stuff, it's more appealing than what I wanted to do in the first place.
What did you want to do?
I wanted to do light rail infantry, so instead of being in vehicles, just walking about and patrolling. But this is it's more exciting.
The majority of soldiers watching the demonstration were from 1 Armoured Infantry Brigade. They'll be taking over the role of Lead Armoured Battle Group next year, and so this is effectively their first training session. This event is the first in a series of annual exercises intended to prove the readiness of the British Army's main intervention capability. Hannah Gurney, Forces News on Salisbury Plain.